Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. So, according to reports from the German press, Borussia Dortmund are preparing to hand Jadon Sancho a new contract if we do not meet Borussia Dortmund's £108 million valuation. Now, it said that Borussia Dortmund are willing to double his wages. So his wages will increase from 5.4 million to over 9 million. Don't forget, we've got until Monday to meet Borussia Dortmund's 108 million asking price, because it said for a while that Borussia Dortmund had set their deadline for the sale of Jadon Sancho, and we've got until the 10th of August to sign the player. I think it did say that Borussia Dortmund fly out to Switzerland next week for pre-season, and we have got to sign him by then. Jadon Sancho's current contract at the moment with Borussia Dortmund runs until 2022. Now, like I've said to you, throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block, because several times they have said that they want over £100 million, and we have said several times we are not willing to meet their valuation. Now, I think it's said that we've offered around £60 million up front, and it'd be like £48 million that would be paid in annual instalments. But I don't think that's enough, because I think Dortmund are looking for around £90 million up front. Now, Fabrizio Romano, he came out earlier on this week, and Fabrizio Romano is a very reliable Italian journalist, and he said that Jadon Sancho has agreed personal terms with Manchester United, and he said he's set to sign a 5-year contract with the football club with around £340,000 a week. But no fee has yet come to an agreement, and Fabrizio Romano also mentioned that negotiations between Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund were at an advanced stage. It also said earlier on this week, didn't it, that Jadon Sancho's deal to Manchester United could be off, and he said that talks have broken down. Main explanation is because of Borussia Dortmund's asking price. You also had Borussia Dortmund's CEO. He came out and denied that Manchester United were in advanced talks to sign Jadon Sancho. So there is still a possibility chance that Sancho could stay at Borussia Dortmund for next season. We probably feel as though that £108 million is too much for Sancho, but Sancho is a type of calibre player that Manchester United need. Obviously, if we do meet their asking price, Sancho will be our most expensive signing, and he will be the most expensive English player in history. Now, we're the only club that are in for him, because Liverpool obviously no longer in for him. Chelsea are no longer in for him. But I've outlined the reasons why I want Sancho at Manchester United is because he's well proven in the Premier League. He's also got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. I think he's actually been in regular contact with Marcus Rashford, and he's predominantly a right winger, and Manchester United are in search for a right winger. And, he's enjoyed 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. I think his stats have been very, very impressive this season. He scored 20 goals and 20 assists in 40-odd games in all competitions. So it just proves that Sancho's a player that can score goals, he can create chances, his runs on and off the ball are very, very good. Dortmund only paid £8 million in for Man City, so they got him for next to nothing. But analyse his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. Like I said before, he was at Dortmund, he was at Man City. He enjoyed 2 years with Man City, but the main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he did not get assured any first team opportunities. And before he was at Manchester City, he was at Watford, and he was at Watford for several years. But I'm still very convinced that Jadon Sancho does want to come to Manchester United, and like I said to you, Borussia Dortmund did come to accept the fact that he does want to leave. Borussia Dortmund have been in the market looking for a replacement for him. Obviously, they've been looking at Memphis Depay from Lyon. They've also been looking at Rashika from Werder Bremen. They've also been looking at Jonathan Koch from Lille. So they have been looking for a replacement for him. Don't forget, if we do sign Sancho, he will be our next number 7. Obviously, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment. But to be honest with you, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. Obviously, had Cristiano Ronaldo's number 7. Best number 7 we've had. Best player we've had in the Premier League era. We had George Best in number 7 at one point. Eric Cantona in number 7. David Beckham in the number 7. Michael Owen was once in number 7. So too was Depay and Alexis Sanchez. But I think, they were very, very inconsistent. We have been looking at alternatives to Sancho, like I've mentioned before, because there is cheaper solutions in him. It says recently we've inquired about getting Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich. Said from Sky Sports the other week we inquired about getting him on loan. Also, too, we looked at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke before. We looked at Thiago Almeida. We looked at Ferran Torres from Valencia, but obviously now he's at Man City. We looked at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. The story's coming out recently saying that we'd put a £49 million bid in for Federico Chiesa, but reportedly he has now rejected a move to Man United. He currently plays for Fiorentina. There's the player. But yeah, so maybe Sancho now to Manchester United isn't happening. Obviously, Solskjaer wants him to come into the football club, but to be honest with you, Solskjaer hasn't really given us an update regarding transfers in his recent press conferences and that. We just know that he is our number 1 priority target, and he has been our number 1 priority target for a while. We first expressed our interest in him in 2017. So if we don't meet their asking price, then obviously, we're not going to get Sancho on the board. Then he's going to end up signing a new contract with Borussia Dortmund. That's what's going to happen. But, if we do sign Sancho, like I've said to you before, it is the signing of the summer. It's the sign of this summer transfer window, but Sancho is still not enough for Manchester United. I still think if we sign Sancho, we need 3 more signings after him if, we are to be challenging for, major honours and that. And like I said, our expectations next season probably will be to challenge for the title. But it looked very, very likely earlier on this week that he was coming to Manchester United, because obviously it was coming from reliable sources saying that, he's agreed terms and that with the club. It was coming from Sky Sports. It was also coming from Simon Stone in, the BBC. But when it comes from sources like that, it is very, very reliable. But like I said, Borussia Dortmund have let quite a few of their players go in recent years, so they are known as a selling football club. Don't forget, they let Christian Pulisic go. They let Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang go a few years ago. They let Ilkay Gundogan go. They let Mkhitaryan go. They let Shinji Kagawa go at one point. They let Lewandowski go. They let Ousmane Dembele go. They let Matt Hummels go. They generated a hell of a lot of money for, the players that they've let go in recent years. But there again, they've recruited some good players in recent years of Dortmund. They got Bellingham in the other week from Birmingham. They got Haaland in January. I think Dortmund only paid 18 million for Haaland, but if they was to sell him in the next year or two, they'd definitely get probably around 90, maybe 100 million pounds. Thorgan Hazard and Julian Braun. They also brought them players in recent years. He also got Emre Can permanently. But yeah, it does say, by the way, that Solskjaer wants to play Jadon Sancho in 2 positions if he comes to the club. Obviously, he wants to play him as a right winger because that's his predominant position. And I think Solskjaer did say he's considering playing him on the left-hand side where Marcus Rashford's position is. He did say yesterday from the mainstream media that he was on a WhatsApp group with Jadon Sancho with some Manchester United players. But yeah, Borussia Dortmund have made it clear. We've got to sign him by Monday, or quite frankly, the deal is off. So that's the latest news regarding him. Now I want to delve into some news on Alex Meret from Napoli. Now, he's a goalkeeper for Napoli, is Alex Meret, and it reportedly says that Man United are eyeing up a move for him if David De Gea or Dean Henderson leave the football club in this summer transfer window. Now, Alex Meret is only very, very young. He's 23 years of age. He has been at Napoli a couple of years now. I think he's played around, 36 games for them. Napoli did pay around 35 million euros for him from underneath, and he has got a contract with Napoli until 2023 as this Alex Meret. So it does reportedly say, that Man United are interested in him. He also had loan spells with Spal. I think he made his debut for Italy last year. I think it was November when he made his debut in Italy's, 9-1 win against Armenia, if I'm right. But apparently he's supposed to be a very, very good shot stopper. He's a very, very agile goalkeeper. Obviously, I think he's supposed to be quite good in the air because obviously, he's about 6'3". So would you take him at Manchester United if David De Gea or Dean Henderson leave the club this summer? There was stories coming out the other week saying that we was looking at Kasper Schmeichel from Leicester. Kasper Schmeichel now, is he 32 or 33 years of age? Obviously, Kasper Schmeichel's well Premier League proven. This was his 9th season at Leicester. Leicester got him from Leeds for 1.5 million back in 2011, Kasper Schmeichel. Obviously, he was at Leeds. I think he had loan spells as well, didn't he? Like Borough, Falkirk, Darlington, Cardiff, Coventry. He also played for Notts County, did Kasper Schmeichel. I think he's made a good 339 appearances in the Premier League for Leicester. And he has got a contract with Leicester till 2023. And don't forget, he's the son of club legend Peter Schmeichel, because he was part of our treble-winning team back in 1999. So we have looked at a few goalkeepers. We've also looked at Jano Black from Atletico Madrid, but he's going to cost a substantial amount. Obviously, he's going to cost around 109 million because that's his buyout clause in his Atletico Madrid contract. But I don't think we should purchase a goalkeeper. Like I've said before, Solskjaer's got a goalkeeping decision to make, and I think he has got to put Dean Henderson as number one for next season, because I do feel as though now that Dean Henderson has got that experience behind him, because he's enjoyed 2 successful loans with Sheffield United as Dean Henderson. And I've got to say, he has been Sheffield United's player of the season. He really, really hasn't. Dean Henderson's had quite a few loan spells, with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. We got Dean Henderson back in 2011 from Carlisle. We did get him at the age of 14. And Dean Henderson still got a contract with us until 2022. Stories are coming out saying that we've offered Dean Henderson a new deal worth around £60,000 a week. I think his current salary at the moment is around 70 grand a week, but obviously whilst he was on loan with Sheffield United were paying the vast majority of that. The stories coming out the other week saying that Chelsea were willing to more than double his wages. They were willing to offer him around 170 grand a week. It also came out the other week saying that our contract talks for Dean Henderson had hit a crucial stage and all of that. But Solskjaer's been talking, saying Dean Henderson is not yet ready to become Manchester United's number one goalkeeper. This is what he had said. But we need to definitely put him as number one for next season because we'll save money. David De Gea has been our number one goalkeeper for several years. But I don't think he's no longer reliable enough to be our number one. Because like I said, David De Gea has been a liability in the last couple of years, reflecting on his calamitous mistakes. De Gea's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Manchester United. De Gea is now approaching his 10th year at the football club, and De Gea has made 404 appearances for Man United in all competitions and around 300 odd appearances in the Premier League. David De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club, and he has won individual awards, reflect on his good performances over the years. But if, I don't think we'll sell De Gea in this summer transfer window, but if we did, or we sold him next year or the next couple of years, we'd still get more than the 18 odd million pounds that were paid for him from Atletico Madrid. I still think we'd get around 60 million pounds for David De Gea. I still believe we get around 60 million pounds. But when De Gea does eventually leave Manchester United, I think he will go back to Spain. Main explanations: born in Spain, relatives are from Spain, girlfriend from Spain, and plus he began his footballing career in Spain. Real Madrid were in for him for so long. Back in 2015, De Gea was close to joining Real Madrid, but due to fax machine, the deal never materialised. Last September, David De Gea signed a 4-year deal at the football club worth around 375 grand a week. So he's the highest paid goalkeeper in the world at the moment, and he's the highest paid at the football club. We've also got Sergio Romero. He's obviously, a backup. When Dean Henderson does come back, if we don't sell him, then obviously, Sergio Romero is going to be our third choice goalkeeper. So maybe, we'll consider, offloading Romero. Obviously, Romero does play in our cup games. I think Romero is 33 years of age now, if I'm right. I think we demand around 5 or 6 million if we're to sell him in this summer transfer window. I heard that Leeds United are interested in him. Romero's got a year left on his Man United contract, I think, but there is an option of a further year. So definitely a goalkeeper decision does need to be made. But like I've said, there's so many players on Manchester United's agenda. There's not only Sancho on our agenda, obviously, Jack Grealish, he still remains on our agenda, but I'm actually, very, very sceptical that we're going to sign Jack Grealish in this summer transfer window. I think he's probably going to end up staying at Villa for next season. Main explanation, because Aston Villa stayed up, so they avoided relegation. If Villa had gone down, then I would have assured that Grealish would have left them. Last time I read up about Jack Grealish, it said that Villa were willing to offer him a new contract worth around £100,000 a week, and it was going to be a new 2-year deal. So that would keep him under contract with Aston Villa until 2025. Villa have obviously said that they want at least £80 million for Grealish, so they do remain ruthless over their valuation. So I'm actually going to disregard Grealish coming to Manchester United. There's still stories coming out regarding Donny van der Beek, saying that we are the favourites to sign him. Donny van der Beek, obviously, there were stories coming out regarding Raul Jimenez the other week and that. But, we've already identified the areas in the squad where we do want to strengthen up, because there's still deficiencies in our squad. We have improved in certain areas, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came into the club. But Solskjaer's made it clear he wants to overhaul the Manchester United squad, obviously, and he wants to make at least 3 signings in this summer transfer window. I think same with Ed Woodward, he wants Man United to make 3 signings, and that's if we even sign Sancho. He still wants the club to make 3 more signings. I think we are going to recruit well in this summer transfer window. Well, I'm hopeful that we can anyway, because obviously, we enjoyed a pretty good season. Obviously, Solskjaer definitely exceeded expectations in his first full season at the club. Obviously, we got Champions League qualification that we needed, and we got it. And I think it said we got an extra £70 million in revenue for getting qualification for the Champions League. We also finished third. No one expected us to finish third, of how poor we was early on in the season, because early on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season for 30 years. And at that point, Solskjaer was so close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. And you wouldn't have even thought we'd have finished in the top half of the table of how poor it was earlier on in the season. Never mind third. We also progressed to 2 semi-finals, and that was the FA Cup semi-final and the EFL Cup semi-final. So Solskjaer did very, very well in his first full season at the football club. And we're also now into the Europa League quarter-final, and we do play Copenhagen on Monday. It is our 27th? Oh, sorry, I think it's our 26th European quarter-final. I thought it was our 27th. I think it's our 26th, yeah. The preview for the Copenhagen game will be coming up later on today. Like I said, I want us to win the Europa League, because if we do, it will be our first trophy under Solskjaer and our first trophy in over 3 years. But I think we are the favourites to win the Europa League. I think for the game against Copenhagen, definitely Solskjaer, he's going to make changes in that game, from the 2-1 win against Lask recently in the last 16. Obviously, if we do beat Copenhagen, then we will play the winners of Wolves or Sevilla in the semi-final. We have won the Europa League before, because we won it under Jose Mourinho back in 2017. But revert back to what I said, I think we can get the players that we want in this summer transfer window. Solskjaer outlined his transfer plans after we got qualification for the Champions League. He's instructed our board to go out there and get his preferred targets. The one thing I'm delighted about, though, that Solskjaer did prove his critics wrong, because I was very, very critical of him earlier on in the season, and so too were a lot of Manchester United fans. But like I said, we've got around £140 million to spend in this summer transfer window. If we get Sancho, then the vast majority of that £140 million is going to go on him, obviously. But let's put into the equation, we are going to sell players in this summer transfer window. So reflecting on that, our transfer budget will obviously increase. I think we're going to sell around, 6, maybe 7 players in this summer transfer window, because quite frankly, there is still deadwood at the football club. I think we're looking to get rid of Jesse Lingard. As you all know, we recently put Jesse Lingard up for sale. I think we'll probably get 20 million or just over £20 million for him. Reportedly Everton are interested in him. Scholes even believes that Jesse Lingard could leave the club. Lingard has played in our last 2 games and scored in his last 2 games. Scored against Lask and scored in our 2-0 win against Leicester on the final day of the Premier League season. And that goal against Leicester was actually his first goal for Man United since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first game in charge. But Lingard's been part of the club for several years, and Lingard knows that he hasn't been good enough this season and that he does need to improve. The Europa League, he's obviously going to get more chances. Solskjaer's an admirer of the player, because Solskjaer, saw him develop and that, because he coached him when Lingard was a youth player. Lingard's got his just under a year left in his contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. So Everton obviously want him. Diego Dalot, I think he's another player we're going to sell in this summer transfer window. Everton also want him, and Everton believe that they can get Diego Dalot for around £10 million. Obviously, Everton are in search for fullbacks, because Seamus Coleman's coming to an end of his career, and Leighton Baines obviously did retire, don't forget, from Everton. That'd be bad business if we let him go for 10 million, because we'd be letting him go for less than what we paid for him. It'd be £9 million less, because we paid £19 million for Diego Dalot from Porto back in the summer of 2018, and we got him in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window, and Dalot has got a contract with us until 2023, hasn't he? Don't forget. I think he only made one start this season, was it, in the Premier League, and he made 11 appearances in all competitions, because Dalot had back-to-back injuries. He had back-to-back injuries earlier on in the season, didn't he? So there you go. So I think, we are going to sell him. I think, Eric Bailly, I don't think we'll sell him at this moment in time. Maybe in the coming months we could sell Eric Bailly. The Gazzetta dello Sport said yesterday that we'd offered AC Milan the chance to sign Eric Bailly. Eric Bailly's not a bad centre-half. He's just very, very injury-prone. Obviously, last summer, in pre-season, Bailly sustained a bad knee injury, and he was out for the vast majority of the season, and he came back in February and, put a good few performances out. Then obviously he suffered a head injury in our 3-1 defeat to Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final and that. So just too injury prone. This has been Bailly's 4th season at Man United. We did get him from Villarreal back in 2016 for £30 million. He was actually our first signing under the Jose Mourinho era, wasn't he? Don't forget. But he doesn't even get in the team enough now, Bailly, because obviously Lindelof and Harry Maguire are our first choice centre-halves. But we'd probably want to recoup the £30 million at least for Bailly if we are to sell him. I also believe that we'll get rid of Phil Jones. He's another player that needs to go. Phil Jones is out of injury at the moment, but Phil Jones has been a long-serving player at Manchester United. This has been his, it was his 9th season at the club, and he's approached his 10th year now at the football club. I'm hopeful that we can get rid of Rojo permanently. He's out on loan at Estudiantes at the moment, and I think he wants to remain with Estudiantes. I think we should get rid of Andres Pereira, because obviously Andres Pereira isn't getting in the team enough. So yeah, I think they're the players that Man United have, got to get rid of. I think Juan Mata will be at Man United for next season. I don't think we'll sell him in this summer transfer window. I really, really don't. But yeah, I think we're also going to loan some players out. Tahith Chong, I think we're going to loan him out. Don't forget, recently Werder Bremen were interested in him. His agent's confirmed he wants to go to the Bundesliga. It was only March when Tahith Chong signed a new contract with the football club till 2022, so he signed a 2-year deal. James Garner could loan him out as well. A few Championship clubs want him. Dylan Levitt, he's another one that could be loaned out. I think we'll also loan Daniel James out. If we sign Sancho, then I can assure we'll loan Daniel James out. Towards the end of the season anyway, Daniel James wasn't getting starts because Mason Greenwood was getting there ahead of Daniel James. Some people say, we need to consider loaning Tuanzebe and Fosu Mentu out and that. So yeah, we can't only focus on the incomings this summer, we've also got to focus on the outgoings. The summer transfer window has been open now for over a week, and signings have already been made. Manchester City have made some good signings. They signed Nathan Ake from Bournemouth for 41 mil, didn't they? Didn't they sign Ferran Torres for around 27 mil, was it, from Valencia? I think they also signed another player. I heard that Liverpool are closing on their first signing. Chelsea have done good business so far. They got Hakim Ziyech back in February for around 37 or 38 million. They got Werner from RB Leipzig for 48 million pounds. Also, too, they're looking to get Havertz. They're also looking to get Ben Chilwell. Looking to get a replacement. They're looking to get a replacement for Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal. Tottenham want to make signings. Arsenal obviously want to make signings. They're closing on their first signing, looking like Gabriel Magalhaes is going to be going to Arsenal. Leicester, going to do any recruitment in this summer transfer window. But like Solskjaer said, we're not in no rush to do early transfer business because it is a long transfer window. The transfer window is open until October, don't forget. But this transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager and that. But I do have a lot of trust with him to get the players that we do want in. Like I said, Solskjaer's been at the Manchester United now over a year and a half. And I've seen improvements under him, and I have taken positives from his tenure. Like I've said, I think throughout the course of the season, Solskjaer promoted the youth very, very well. I think our record against the top 6 sides was very, very good. In quite a few games throughout the course of the season, Solskjaer showed a lot of tactical flexibility, but there was also a lot of games where he was very, very tactically naive. I think also our recruitment's definitely improved under him because we have been criticised for several years, reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's being criticised for overpaying for players. And so far at the football club, Solskjaer spent over £200 million at Manchester United, and so far he has made 4 permanent signings at the football club. Got these 4 signings in the last 2 windows, 4 permanent signings, because he didn't recommend anyone in his first transfer window. Well, don't forget as well, he did get Odin Igalo on loan. I think aspects of our game have definitely improved. But we've seen an upturn in forms, really, since January, because we're unbeaten in our last 14 league games, so we haven't lost in the league since Burnley beating us by 2-0. Don't forget as well, we did go on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea beating us in the FA Cup semi-final. So I have definitely seen improvements, and I'm hopeful that we can win a title under Solskjaer. If we do, it will be our 21st title. It will be our 21st title, if we can win a title under him. But next season is the big test for Solskjaer. Next season is going to be his 2nd full season at the football club. But it is a transition period for Man United, and it has been a transition period for a while. And Solskjaer said at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. Solskjaer's learned a lot since he's come in. He's more or less giving everybody their chances to express themselves, like he assured when he first came in. He's got now that managerial experience behind him. He's been here quite a while now. Man United is the third club in his managerial career. But I want us to get a title under Solskjaer, and I want us to challenge for other major honours, because we haven't won the Premier League since 2013 and that. But in the last 7 years, there's been a lot of problems at the football club. There haven't only been problems like the managers and that. There's been cultural problems. There's been a lot of problems with the club's ownership, the Glazers. There's been a lot of problems with Ed Woodward. There's also been a lot of problems, with the board. I think, we've made mistakes in the last 7 years, and that's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. But the managers we've had, obviously, they've all had different philosophies, haven't they? Moyes got sacked, wasn't the right manager. Van Gaal got sacked, wasn't the right manager. And Jose Mourinho got sacked, wasn't the right manager. But in our history, we have won 45 trophies. 38 of those trophies came under Alex Ferguson. But we've only won 3 trophies since Alex Ferguson left. So we have lacked silverware in the last 7 years or so. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Like I said, I think on my next video, I'll be giving you a preview for the Copenhagen game. Or if it's not my next video, it will be the video after. Like I said, Solskjaer made changes. We've still got some injuries. Obviously, Luke Shaw's out with an ankle injury. He's not going to be back till next season. Tuan Zebe's out. Jones, I think, is close to returning now, so maybe he could play a part in this Europa League campaign. We shall see. So anyway, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.